Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. Now today, in this video, I'm going to be telling you how you can take cuttings of Rhipsalis cacti and how to propagate them by using the water method. Now I've successfully rooted Rhipsalis in both the soil method and the water method. Both works very well, but I like the water method because you can sort of keep an eye on when the roots are forming. And with cacti, I would never normally recommend rooting them in water, especially the desert type of cacti, such as the more, although this is Slendycereus, but the more commonly seen cacti, because they would just rot if they're rooted in water. But with the Rhipsalis, they're part of the Epiphytic Cactus group, and they can be rooted in water alongside with Epiphyllum and some of the more commonly seen Schlumbergera cacti, such as the Thanksgiving and Christmas cactus. They root very well in water. So you see I've got some Easter cactus cuttings rooting there, and these are rooted in water. And the reason why I'm doing this video, I have to say, it's not the ideal time to be propagating cacti at this time of year, even epiphytic cacti, because everything roots much better when the days are longer from the spring onwards. So if you want to take cuttings of Rhipsalis, I personally would wait until the spring before doing it. But the reason why I'm doing this video is because I have noticed on my lovely big Rhipsalis here, it has got a little bit of sort of where it's died back there. It's not exactly rot as such, but it has died back. So this is going to be a perfect opportunity to save these fresh, healthy pieces here and show you how to do it by using the water method, because when I've done it before, I've just done it and not made videos. And I think it will be helpful to people if this happens to your Rhipsalis cacti, or also if you want to know how to propagate them in the spring. Very easy to propagate. And this time of year, this winter here, it's January, these type of plants, the epiphytic cacti, do still sort of carry on growing, and in fact most of them will actually flower in the winter, often produce little berries and flower. This one here is actually flowering at the moment. Very hard to see. I did make a video a couple of weeks ago when it was flowering, a tiny little flower there, and it has lots of little berries all on it as well. Lovely. Just show you some of these other berries on my my other Rhipsalis here. The Pilocarpa, look at all them lovely berries, lovely winter berries, especially for this time of year. And this is the Albuolata one, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Grows like a big, lovely, almost like a waterfall of a plant. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is my hanging basket stand I have here in my office, and it does very well. I have this hanging basket stand outside in the yard in the spring and summer, where they get plenty of rain, and because of the basket is like a sort of like a moss type of cover at the bottom there. It dries out pretty quick in between the rain, so the soil dries out in between waterings, but it loves the rain in the summer, and they do very well out there. But obviously I overwinter these in my office because they're not particularly cold hardy, and a bit too they need more warmth in the winter than the ones we have that we keep in our polytunnel over the winter months. I'm going to show you two examples of propagating two different types of Rhipsalis plants. I have this one here. This is a cutting I actually took off a couple of days ago, and I'll tell you why I did it a couple of days ago, because I wanted to wait for it to callus over, and I'm going to explain a bit more in this video. But these ones are going to actually show you how to do it here in the same method with all these types of Rhipsalis. This is the Pilocarpa, exactly the same method here with these, the more common ones, and the same with this one as well here, same method, and I'm going to explain in a bit now. But I just wanted to show you how to do it, and then I'm going to leave these then for a couple of hours just to callus over before I put them in the water method. So what you need to do, obviously, when you're propagating, normally with plants, I always recommend to cut under a node, and then obviously that's where the roots come from. But with these particular type of cacti, it's best to always take them from the join, as it is with Schlumbergera as well, which I've made a few water propagation methods with the same way. I always take at the join. And I did this one a couple of days ago because I wanted to let it callus over for a couple of days. As you can see, it has there, because the diameter really depends on the diameter of the cutting. With this one, this is the Paradoxa, and it is more of a wider stems, so it's best to leave it for a couple of days, sometimes even longer depending on the size of the diameter, to callus over before putting into water. Same with the soil method too. I do know some growers who would just take cuttings of Rhipsalis straight off and put them straight into water, and they don't rot and they just root well that way, and that's great. Personally myself, I like to just let them callus for a couple of days because it helps prevent any chances of rot. Personally, that's only my experience with it, but it really doesn't matter to some growers, but I would personally recommend leaving it to callus for a couple of days. And with this one here, what I did at a join, sort of here, there, for example, just trying to where I actually took this from at the join here. It was this one. It was, just show you, like that coming from it. And then I just pulled it from a join there and I let that callus over. You can see it's formed a hard callus there. And always good to have at least 3 to 4 inches of stem that you take a cutting, because the more of the size cutting you've got there, the more energy is stored in that cutting, and then that can go towards forming roots. Sometimes if you take too small of a cutting, it will shrivel up before it has a chance to take roots. And there you go, I've got my little water in there, and my little cup, a little cactus cup, very cool, isn't it? And then just pop the part that's calloused over into the water like so. I'm going to show you how to do it on these, and as I say, taking it from a join. And the reason why I'm doing it this time of year is because this has gone bad. I wanted to do this one, even though it's the wrong time of year, just to show you 2 different examples of Rhipsalis plants. But the same method will be exactly for one of these as well. You just pull at a join. I personally, with this here, I'd have a bit more on it. I would actually go there and twist. In fact, I'll actually do this just to show you, and do this at the same time. So I'll show you 2 examples. Twist there, and they do twist off pretty easy, just to pull. If it's a bit difficult, then I would recommend probably using a pair of sharp shears, clean shears. But I find Rhipsalis are very small diameter. As long as you use a clean hand, a clean nail, they do come off at the joint very easy there. So I'm just going to put that aside. I'm going to leave that to callus just for a couple of hours. As I say, it's warm in the house, so it dries quick, and the diameter is very small. So I'm going to show you an example of 3 different types there. And with this one here, I say you want to go at the join. So here we go. There, that's where the join comes from there. And here. And again, just there, just gently twist. It should twist off very easily. There you go. Comes off very easy like that. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably just cut that back. Might just leave that, not quite sure. Leave that just for now. And the same again with these ones. Here, there's the join. They usually find you just twist and they come away very easily. There. Let's twist it round. There you go. And I'm just going to let them to callus over then. And I'm going to do that then with the rest of these. And as I say, gently twist. I'll just show you another example there. Gently twist it. Twist it round, comes away very easy. That's a clean cut, so that's going to be a good one. I will just cut the other ones. If it comes off like this, you can just cut it back there just to neaten it up a little bit. So I'm going to I'm going to carry on with the rest of them now. And then when it's all done, I'm going to show you what it looks like when I've took all the cuttings. And so if you have a little bit, you just want to neaten it off a little bit there, you can just cut off with a clean pair of shears or scissors there, just to neaten it off there. And there you go, that's all the cuttings I've taken there. And this one I've took a bigger piece there with a few stems attached onto that. And there we go. Now all I'm going to do is leave these probably for a couple of hours, because obviously they'll dry out pretty quickly before I put them into the water. And then I'll put them into the water in a couple of hours. Now I've left these a couple of hours now, so I'm going to just be putting them into the water. And just want to make sure that the water level comes up to about there. So a couple of the nodes are going to be immersed in water, because this is where the roots are going to be coming from, in there. And I'll do that with all of them and show you what it's like afterwards. And there we go, that's all of the cuttings in the water, the 3 different types of Rhipsalis. And probably expect to get roots forming, possibly anything from 2 weeks to possibly even 2 to 3 months. It can take a long time for cuttings to root, even in the water method. I usually find the water method is much quicker, but bear in mind this time of year is not the best to take cuttings. But because I have the grow lights on here, This is in my grow room, also my office. They should, with the extra heat and the extra light, they should root a lot faster. And once they've rooted and I go then to plant them up, I'll make a video when I'm potting them up. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye.